You already know what's going to happen, but I'm going to spin the wheel anyways. We got Domdala, Fisher, Chris Lake, Sampacho, etc., etc. All the heavy hitters right now. Ooh, nice. All right, so I've broken down all my favorite Matroda songs, and this is a list of everything we need. In his intros, he keeps it quite simple. We need a basic drum loop, a filtered kick to keep the beat. He likes to use a vocal or a string for an atmospheric pad. He loves soulful style vocals, unless he's doing like a Latin house kind of thing. For build-ups, he doesn't like to use snare rolls very often, and he'll keep the drums and pads going and usually do send return kind of effects instead of adding risers and sweeps. On his drops, he's always using a heavy kick with a thick bass line. The drums are super consistent, and what I notice is it's usually a 1-bar loop, and he'll use syncopated bass shots and other snares, and he usually picks one tonal percussion to accent everything as well. He has a very signature chord stab he likes to use in a lot of his songs. It just varies how much he uses it. And now that we know all that, we're going to get into Ableton and see what we can make. All right, so first thing we're going to do is find a good kick drum. That's a good one. And we're going to do a 1-bar bass line, and then the 4th bar will be a different phrase. There will be a slight variation on it. Let's find ourselves a preset. I know Matroda has used these sounds before. What if I make this really plucky? I do like the tone. There's the knock we wanted. Add some swing. Kicks aren't working. We can always come back and adjust later if we need. Let's throw a hi-hat in here, see how it sounds with that. All right, now that we have our hi-hat, I want to get the vocal in, and I found one already. So let's drag it in. I pitched it down to G already. I got this from Loop Cloud, and we're going to change it up a little bit. Yep. I think that's what we want to do here as the main 8-bar phrase. All right, so now we're going to throw in a tom as kind of our tonal percussion. Simpler to sampler. We got to change our root note to what the actual note is with it, which is a G, and then it'll play the proper note. So now if I drag this in here, I think we need to throw in our clap now and see how that sounds. I like the tone of this. It's just a little too... There we go. I think now we put in our snare. That'll do. And then I want just one support hi-hat on this 4th one. Right there. So we'll duplicate this. Cut all this out. Cut all this out. Choose it. Yep. Need to change this 4th bar somehow, so loop this. Oh, was this all messed up? Yes, it was. That's wild. Alright, now we're gonna throw our little drum reverb on the hi-hats. So there are two left and right reverbs, a little different in sound. We're gonna change it a little bit, but both on 100% mix. Okay, so now with a little bit of reverb on the might be a little too much. These want to be very subtle. Do a little bit of that same kind of reverb idea, but we'll only do one, and we're going to be automating it. We're going to put an EQ after this reverb to get all the low end out. We'll add a phaser on top of that reverb. So I do need to start adding some synths because I want to get that piano stab in here somewhere. So we're going to take this stab, do a little double maybe. I want an echo on that second one, just a simple one. All right, so I got a little ahead of myself and made some changes. I added this double kick on the intro here. And I also just adjusted the fill, and you'll see this here in a sec. I added this crash cymbal here, along with the snare at the end. And with the kick, this is kind of our fill. And the clap, I guess. The intro, I noticed he usually has a motif, and I did mention that earlier, but I changed it up a little bit. So that's on top of the vocal currently. And I added this string pad as well. And on the drop, I'll show you a couple of these things I added. Adjusted this preset here. Added a little echo, and this is acting as like our hit on the downbeat because this is our drop. And then that's getting answered by this synth here with some erosion, OTT, and more erosion. With that bass drop, I decided to add this little vocal shot here. And use that hook as well. And so this is something he likes to do a lot, are these little drop switches, 1 bar break. And I did a little kind of arpeggiated 16th note pattern. See those jumps like that? It has the same kind of jumps here. So what I wanted to do in this bass was a little bit of automation. So this says shorter, but it's because I changed the automation, what it actually does. Yeah, because I just don't want this top note to be very long. I'm okay with this note because it's lower, but... So after we have this automated, different variation here, where I basically just don't do the jumps And it all works. And now I have those piano stabs that we worked on earlier as the call and response kind of thing. I also remember to take out my drums for 2 bars, and I added the back half of this clap snare fill. What if I used all 4 though? What would happen? I'm not mad at it. Use send returns. Good. Should probably have that double kick that we had earlier here, maybe. Although my brain said that, I'm not going to do it. Because we got these 2 notes helping each other out. Sounds okay. What I wanted to add here on the second half of the drop is a shaker loop, because I feel the energy should really come out on this second part after this little fake, and a shaker loop I think would be exactly that. So we do have a bunch saved and downloaded already. Don't mind those. I have to play with them a little bit to make them sound nice. If we just did that and then altered it afterward. Okay, so we are going to add our own swing and groove to this. Change the volume of some of these. So now that we have that, we're going to justify that. Now we're going to make them a little choppier. And now we can add a little bit of swing. Got the 30% on there. If you know the reason I'm doing this, let me know in the comments. Okay, now that we have that little groove, I'm going to add a vocoder, and we're going to group this because I'm going to use this as a white noise on top of the hi-hat. We're going to do noise, enhance, turn that off. Bring the performance up a little bit if we want. And now we need an envelope follower. We're going to map that to the amount here. And for those who don't know, on an envelope follower, rise is like the attack. So nothing's happening right now, but we need to turn up the gain so we can feel it. Now this will just change the attack. Fall is like keeping it sustained, and delay just like literally pushes it further back. So you could have like a delayed envelope follower like this. You could create echoes this way, but we're just doing it like this. Now that we have that, we're going to do an LFO, and the LFO is going to be set to random. We're going to bring the smooth up, set this to 1/16, map this to the release time. Make sure we bring it down so the release is between like 60 and 100, I think. Yeah, okay. Oh, we're getting a click from this here, so we got to adjust. Perfect. And now that we can't really adjust the volume of the vocoder because it's getting mapped to that envelope follower, what you would have to do is throw a gain plugin on here. So that's just the white noise coming out. I've come to some conclusions, and it's simply that Matroda is super deliberate. Like, once you get good sounds, use them specifically. I know he makes more of a minimalistic style tech house, but his tracks sound really full, and whether you enjoy them or not, they're produced very well. Each sound is tight in the best way. So I'm going to do a few bits of processing and some automations, and this is kind of what I'm going to have by the end of it, and I'll show you that in a sec here.
Time for this and a whole lot of that. Time for this and a whole lot of that. Time for this and a whole lot of that. Don't make no difference if you move a step back. Time for this and a whole lot of that. Time for this and a whole lot of that. Time for this and a whole lot of that. Don't make no difference if you move a step back. Time for this and a whole lot of that. Time for this and a whole lot of that. Time for this and a whole lot of that. Time for this and a whole lot of that. Time for this and a whole lot of that. Don't make no difference if you move a step back. Time for this and a whole lot of that. Time for this and a whole lot of that. Time for this and a whole lot of that. Don't make no difference if you move a step back.
I think I might finish this song completely, so let me know if I should do that, and then I'll put out the project file, and I can do a whole mix and mastering thing, and then I can do another artist. Wow.